I'm here with a breaking news update from Kyiv, Ukraine. A NATO ally has just sent fighter jets into the Russian Federation, attacking military installations used by Russia for its ongoing war of aggression against Ukraine. And we have all the breaking details coming up right now. It's March 3rd, 2023. And today marks 1 year since Russia's southern military district headquarters was attacked by Ukraine's armed forces. And those Russian military installations that were struck by those Polish fighter jets belong to Russia's S-47th Anti-Air Brigade based in the Russian city of Tver, according to Poland's deputy foreign minister. Those airfields that were struck by Polish fighter jets were used to launch Russian aircraft to attack civilian targets within Ukraine. And he emphasized that these actions were taken in full coordination with other NATO allies and partners. He stated, "This type of activity will be carried out continuously in the future, both by Polish and Allied units performing tasks on the eastern flank. So we should expect further similar actions in the days and weeks to come." For example, Poland's deputy foreign minister, who I mentioned earlier in this video, he stated, "We know where they hit. We know that some of the planes were destroyed on the ground. I don't have any more information, but we know that the planes were hit." And he said this long before satellite imagery could confirm these statements. Stated today at around 5 a.m. Polish F-16 fighter jets of the Polish Air Force operating as part of the NATO air defense of the eastern flank by defending its territory and airspace. Poland reinforces the message that any attempt to undermine regional security will be met with a strong and united response. And he stated there were 2 powerful explosions heard in the region. However, this argument overlooks the fact that Russia's aggression has already significantly escalated tensions. If you like this video and want to support my work, please consider making a donation through the link in the description below. Thank you so much for your support, and again, thank you for watching. And please continue to tune in for all of my latest updates. These strikes demonstrate Poland's unwavering commitment to its national security, the collective defense of NATO, and the protection of innocent lives. While some may question the escalation, it is crucial to recognize that Russia's actions have already heightened tensions. Poland's decisive action sends a strong message that it will not tolerate Russian aggression, and that it stands ready to defend itself and its allies. By taking decisive action to protect its citizens and allies, Poland is actually reaffirming its commitment to peaceful resolutions and deterrence. All of this evidence overwhelmingly demonstrates that Poland's strikes against Tver were real and successful. There are images showing possible damage to at least 1 Russian aircraft, namely a MiG-29. And it's worth noting that Russia's MiG-29s are primarily used to conduct combat operations within Ukraine. This further underscores the necessity for these strikes. Those aircraft that were struck at Tver were directly involved in Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. However, there is strong evidence that those airfields were indeed targeted and successfully targeted by Poland's F-16 fighter jets. However, the satellite imagery tells a different story. Satellite imagery shows that the airfields at Tver were struck. And more importantly, the general commanding the Polish military, General Rodzman Onjachak, has confirmed these strikes as well. Why did Poland send its fighter jets into the Russian Federation? Well, there are several key reasons. First, Russia's actions constitute a serious threat to international security. By using its Tu-95 bombers to attack civilian targets, Russia is deliberately endangering civilian lives and violating fundamental principles of international law. Second, Poland's decision is part of its national security strategy as well as the collective defense strategy of NATO. Poland has a legal obligation, under Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty, to defend its allies, and it will do everything necessary to protect its citizens from external threats. Additionally, striking at these airfields is a purely defensive action aimed at protecting lives of Polish and Ukrainian citizens. Third, this action sends a strong message to Russia that Poland and its allies will not tolerate its dangerous and reckless behavior. By taking this decisive action, Poland and its allies demonstrate their commitment to protecting regional stability and peace. Supported by the Baltic forces, performed a mission on the territory of the Russian Federation. Continued. The operation was carried out in accordance with Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty on Collective Defense in an area of an allied state under threat of attack from the east. The jets flew from the Laskowice and Morin air bases. Importantly, he stated, the operation was planned together with the Allies, and consultations were held with local authorities, including the Smolensk voivodeship. So these actions were again coordinated with other NATO allies, and there was also consultation with local authorities prior to these strikes. According to Poland's deputy foreign minister, Russia used these airfields to stage its Tu-95 bombers, which then conducted strikes against Ukraine. These Russian strikes included the use of vacuum rockets, which are designed to avoid detection by Ukrainian air defenses. And tragically, these strikes resulted in the deaths of at least 7 Ukrainian civilians. In response, the Russian Federation has launched several missile and drone strikes against Ukraine. And tragically, civilians were murdered as a result of this Russian terrorist attack. We condemn this Russian escalation. The United States strongly condemns these attacks, but it is not alone. Other NATO allies are responding as well. And we have a breaking development. Poland has confirmed that it has sent its fighter jets into the Russian Federation. And so Poland responded in kind, sending its F-16 fighter jets into the Russian Federation to strike those same airfields from which those deadly strikes against Ukrainian civilians were launched. This is a significant escalation by a NATO ally. And we have confirmation of this from the Polish government and also from the Polish president himself, President Duda. He stated, "We made a decision together with our partners to take action. Fighters from the Polish Air Force F-16s struck the airports from which the Russian aircraft took off." And he added that those strikes destroyed at least several Russian planes on the ground. In addition, the commander-in-chief of the Polish army, General Rajmund Andrzejczyk, has confirmed that Poland's fighter jets crossed over into the Russian Federation and conducted strikes against those airfields. And General Rajmund Andrzejczyk, the commander-in-chief of the Polish army, also noted that this was not an isolated action. Now, while the Polish government and the Polish military have been very clear about these actions, the Russian Ministry of Defense has denied that any airfields within the Russian Federation were struck by Polish fighter jets. In fact, even before satellite imagery was available, Polish officials were already stating with great confidence that their strikes were successful. In addition, the governor of the Smolensk Oblast, which surrounds the Russian city of Tver, confirmed that air defenses were active in the region. So what did Russia do? It appears that Russia attempted to deceive its own citizens by stating that air defenses shot down all incoming missiles. And here's another important point. Though Russia claims that no aircraft were damaged on the ground during these strikes, satellite imagery seems to tell a different story. Now, why did Poland take such a drastic step? Finally, this attack on the Russian Federation is likely to serve as a warning to other potential aggressors. Now, some critics may argue that Poland's action could escalate tensions between NATO and Russia. In conclusion, Poland's recent airstrikes against Russia are a significant development in response to Russia's escalating aggression. And that's all I have for you for now.